Hello, my man. How are you feeling? This is Jesse, and welcome back to the Valiant Lifestyle. If this is your first time, I'd like to welcome you to my channel. And I'd also like to welcome you to subscribe. And it is easy. You just hit the little subscribe button down in the lower right-hand corner, and then hit all. And what that does not do is restrict you from any of my content when it's available to you. You'll get a notification. And if you're coming back, my man, again, welcome. Welcome back. I love having you here. And in fact, it makes my day to know that in some of the comments that you write, you feel really good. You feel like there's somebody like myself that's supporting you. And it's nice to have some familiarity, because when us men are out there doing things, when we're out there being ourselves and being with our family, it can be daunting sometimes. So I'm that guy that you get to hang out with for 5 to 8 minutes a day. All right, so let's kick off here. This is Anger Under Control, and this is 3 advanced tactics that you can use to get things under control with yourself and your family. Number 1, I want you to validate feelings. Validate your feelings and validate theirs. What do I mean by all that? Scenario. I find myself in a sticky situation with the kids and my wife, where my wife isn't quite sure of what to expect in something we're doing. The kids react in a way where they're not quite sure either. It's a little puzzling. They want to go along with the adventure and what I've asked them to do, but it's unknown. So it's unfamiliar. So it might feel unsafe. Now, granted, you might say, well, Jesse, your kids might be adventurous and curious. Yes, they are. They also react with what J-Mommy has to say. And it is very impactful. And it is also very important that I backboard, I support her feelings. So that's why I validate them. That's why I ensure that I'm supportive in those situations. Honey, I got you in this situation. I know it's unknown. I know it's different, but I want you to know that I got you, and I know this is going to work. So those are the words you use. The second thing is, I want you to use I statements versus you or we. Here's where that goes. When you start using what I've found, anything but I, so we and you, it seems like an attack or it seems accusatory. Now, when your family is angry or in fight or flight, all 3 of them in my case, including the cats, so let's say 5, it can be, as a dad, as a bonus dad, it can be interesting in this blended family that we have when we're just trying to navigate each other's feelings. Now, how do you do that? Well, I'm the captain. And when I look at relationship, it is like a vessel that I am the captain of, and I am slowly but surely taking the turn, navigating the ship. And what that means is the I statements are, I feel good about this, or I feel like this is going to be impactful. I am curious about this thing that we're about to do. We're about to jump over a river. We're about to walk down a trail that's steep. We're about to endure this great hike. And then when you get into the you should do this, or you gotta do this, or we are the... No. Just start with you. Move with you, because what it does is it helps give an example on what they are and what they are doing. And even if they don't like what you're doing or don't end up doing what you're doing, what you've done is you've given them a reference point, you, as an example, and that helps set things up for them. They make choices. They might cross the river differently. They might hike up the other side of the trail. They might, in some cases where you got to get them through, you're going, Jesse, well, if you're going on a hike and you're already there, how do you get everybody along? Trust me, what I do is I lead by example, and that means I know it's mucky, I know it's steep, I am going to help you along the way. I got you. Those are the I statements. And number 3, listen carefully to their feelings. Listen carefully to how they feel. This is so important. This is uber important. And when you're listening to every detail, nodding and clarifying. So I think that what you've said is, if I'm correct about what you've said, this is what I'm hearing. Those statements. And also also the ones where you are dealing with the fight or flight. How do you deal with that? You're talking calmly and you're listening, because when you're talking calmly and you're listening, you can help them navigate what they got to do, how they've got to do it. Now you might be saying, what does a hike and what does crossing a river have anything to do with keeping anger under control? Well, if you are dealing with 2 kids, a wife, and you're doing a river crossing and there is some anger, there's some fight or flight going on, you're anticipating things that might lead to anger, or you are working with things that are irritating, that could feel really unknown. And what that does is it ends up going a couple of different ways. When you do it right, it ends up being comfort and a challenge, and they overcome it, the big breakthrough. When it doesn't, it's the breakthrough, but it's going to be coming through with some anger, because they're upset with the unknown situation where they don't know how they're going to be able to react in a certain situation, which you've introduced. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. Good on you, Dad, for doing that, because that is the courage. That is the part that we get to introduce as dads, as blended family dads in their lives, to start to really just take life by the horns. Okay, so getting anger under control isn't that simple. We get to work with it, but I've given you 3 tactics which I believe are very important. They're advanced too, because it involves you listening. It involves you being fully present. It involves me showing you what that looks like in the way of words. And I believe that these work because I have tried them. I've tested them out, and they're true to me. They're true to working. So what I want for you to do is, if this works for you, I want you to comment. If you have something else that you would like to add, I'd love to hear about that as well. So I would also love to know if this resonates with you. And if it does, and then you're thinking about, I want to get to know this Jesse guy better, I'd love to get to know you too, man. So go to thevaliantlifestyle.com and let's book that discovery call now. Let's do it. Let's get after it. All right. Thank you for watching. Let's do this.